Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Stockport. Now, first a quick word as to why I look really different at the moment. Basically, I just went to turn on this massive ring light I've got around the back of the camera and it won't turn on. So, off to a flyer this morning. It might just be that the bulb needs sorting, but I've not had this thing that long, and that would be a pain in the arse. So you might have to just put up with it. Thankfully, because of the new camera, it actually looks not too bad compared to what it used to look like without the lighting. I'd still rather have the light, but it ain't the end of the world, so you'll have to make do with shadows cast across my face. Now, since it is the start of the week, it is time to thank new patrons, and this week we have Azai, Zach Bartel, and Ronnie Schurnt. I apologise for not being able to pronounce that surname. I did even look it up on websites, but I couldn't seem to find anyone to tell me how to pronounce it. I think it sounds Dutch, or maybe Belgian. Not entirely sure, but massive thanks to all three of you for joining up on Patreon over the last week. That is incredibly awesome of you, and everyone else over there as well. It really is the lifeblood keeping this channel moving, and it might help me buy another bulb for this light. Now, there's been a slight change of plans. Today, originally the livecon was going to be Manchester City, and it was going to be 7 matches off camera, and it was going to turn into 8 because of the FA Cup. But then the Manchester City game got moved because of them playing in a Carabao Cup final, and then it got pushed to 11 games, and I was like, no, we're not doing 11 games off camera because that would skip way too much good stuff. So I've decided to do the Spurs game, which was the one before the Man City game, as the livecom today. Man City game will be the livecom in the next one as a double, with the Fulham game in there as well, just to sort of spice things up a little bit. It's not ideal, but it's the best I could do. Now, someone said they wanted to see Pedro. This is Pedro. I just feel like we're close to getting what we want out of him. My issue with him has been, so far, he scored 11 goals for us in the Premier League, which is a decent return from a left winger. But with the stats he's got in the team that we're playing at the moment, the way we were last year, I felt like if he came into that Miller position, he could get us 25 goals in the league easy. The issue has simply been, he hits the post way too often, and he has his shots saved too much. Basically, it's as simple as that. It's really strange. Now, someone did actually say this, and I'm going to put it on the screen. Do you think the instructions shoot less often may be holding him back? And I didn't notice this, and I think you're right, because I went and looked on Liam Miller when he's in that role, and he ignores it because of his PPMs. So I actually took it off of Pedro for the start of these few games, and I actually put it on shoot more often, which was a mistake, but more on that in a minute. And I'm hoping that might help him stop dawdling in situations, perhaps, because sometimes he takes too many touches, gets too close to the goalkeeper, and then can't score. But he does seem to miss an awful lot of one-on-one situations, which is bizarre to me personally, and I don't really understand why. It's very, very strange, but there you go. Where did Matt get the merch that hasn't been made yet from? Yeah, you guys took that meme and ran with it. Something I also thought was quite funny is that YouTube started flagging loads of your comments as spam. I came on this morning and I checked the comments because I hadn't been able to check all weekend, and I had like 4 different comments in the spam folder, which is like way more than normal, and they were all like, where'd you get the face packs, Matt? But yeah, look forward to some merch coming soon. I wanted to, instead of just getting merch with like a logo on it or something like that, I wanted to make some merch ideally that could be worn as clothes, i.e. that you wouldn't have to know about the channel just to enjoy it as a good shirt. And I think that's kind of what I want to aim for with merch, basically. Although I kind of want a mug now that says, where'd you get the face packs from, Matt? If anyone ever asks you why you love FM, show them this video. The joy you feel when a session of analysing and tweaking pays off is indescribable. Oh god, yes it is. I never expected us to go from what we were doing to winning 6-0, and I feel like that was a blip. You know, that was peak because of all the extra analysis, possibly because I was using the Everton game as an example because I knew it was coming up, so we were kind of planning for them a bit more. But it was still impressive to get the 6 goals. Some of them are a bit fortunate. But also, thank you for the response on that video. I was a little bit concerned about doing something like that, particularly with a 27-minute bonus video, which like 700 of you watch, by the way, you mentalists. But I'm glad I did now, and a lot of you guys seem to enjoy it, and I'm really glad. I will try to do stuff like that more often, but very rarely does a situation throw itself up where I actually get a chance to do that, because there'd be no reason to a lot of the time, really. But next time it does, I will make sure that I do it again. Right, we've got some games off camera, and I need to run you through these quite fast because we've got a big game today against Spurs, and we're going to try and be a little bit more proactive. Fresh off the back of our late winner against West Brom, and I know I was absolutely furious during that game, and sometimes the rage comes out because you could see what's going well and how you need to play, and then you just, those little tiny mistakes. Same with Huddersfield, where I was so annoyed, not because of the defenders so much as the goalkeeper. He came out and bundled into a pile of defenders for no reason. But anyway, away at Stoke, we got the win. Joseph Baiza was played in behind by Abasolo, who had a wonderful day, as you can see, creating chances left, right and centre. Bednar was superb as well, but Baiza got in there and got his goal to give us the winner. Oh, it's so nice to see Joseph Baiza actually performing. He's got a new deal now. It's quite a big contract, but he has got rid of his release clause, and I'm kind of pleased because he's a new man at the moment. We then got Bury, of course, as you know, in the FA Cup, and somehow drew 0-0 in this game. Now, of course, as you can see, I played a massively rotated side. Even the likes of Justin Goodliff played in the inside forward role because Liam Miller picked up an injury, and Pedro, I didn't want to risk him in this game. Now, The first game and this game, I both had the instructions shoot more often on the inside forwards, and Pedro in the last game was not that great because he was shooting from... He'd get the ball in his normal position, but he'd shoot before he even got into the box, and it wasn't worth it. So I think the best one for him is to not have him shoot less often, but give him total freedom to choose when he shoots, really. And Goodliff was very bad with that in this game too. We were just not very good, even though I feel like the rotated side should have done the job. Bridges was man of the match though. Oh, Bruno. This was a weird one against West Ham, in that we dominated the early stages of this game. And Abasolo gave us the lead. Camille Bednar actually got in behind, which is a rarity. He got into that position he normally is, but the defender was so pushed up, he was able to run straight through. His shot was saved, and on the rebound he put it in the back of the net before Abasola added one more only 5 minutes later. But towards the end of the game we got a bit sloppy. Hayden Wood, this one was one where I think it was Regan Booty, yeah, he actually got Charlie Dyer out of position type of levels, and it caused some issues for them, but that really should have been resolved, and the ball just kind of mumbled through to Hayden Wood and he was scoring. And then unfortunately a defensive free kick, or an attacking free kick for them, cost us unfortunately. Our defending for set pieces is something we need to work on, because that's where we're conceding a larger than average number of our goals now, because we're plugging one hole but another one, but this is something we can fix. But the point is we got the win in the end anyway, and it was another win. I think that was our 4th straight, maybe even 5th. And thankfully we went to Gig Lane, although it's called something else now, isn't it? The Energy Check Stadium at Gig Lane, and battered Bury to get the win. But again, it was so tight in this one. We took the lead through Pedro, of course. We played a full strength side for this one because I was determined to make sure we got the win. But they still scored. Jordan Thornley, and I think it was from a corner or a free kick again. Yeah, it must have been a corner or a free kick because he's a centre-back. Gave them an equaliser when they'd done nothing on the night. Thankfully, Greg Stubbs off the bench to score the winner for us in the FA Cup. It's nice to see old Greggy, came through our youth academy a couple of seasons ago, getting a few action in the first team. I think it was Abasolo or put a ball... No, it was Seferings. Really nice goal, but we got the win. Where, in the next round of the FA Cup, I cannot believe I'm saying this, we drew Norwich City. I wish I was making this up. First off the back of that, we played Liverpool at Anfield. We actually took the lead through a Joseph Bizer rocket. He got the ball about 25 yards out, 2 players around him, and just pinged it top corner at the near post. Unbelievable strike. They equalised with a Vort, and then a little bit of madness before half-time where we conceded 3 goals in 5 minutes, just tore us apart. Saferdings had a really poor day. He was constantly getting caught out on that left-hand side with Coons, and it was just not a good day for us at the office, but it was bound to happen eventually. First off the back of that, we went to Carrow Road and played against Norwich, and this was a stunningly good performance. Really, really good performance. Cardo Makengo got a goal from a corner. Elvedin Kubat got a lovely goal after a deflected cross from Kit Kat, deflected into his path, and then Liam Miller got a late one for us for a 3-0 victory at Carrow Road. Really comfortable and amazingly cathartic to get this one over the line. It really was a great result. Zé Maria was phenomenal. Now in the next game against Watford, I tried something out, and I think it's had a good effect for us, right? So I was like, is there a way we can fit Charlie Dyer in? Now, I've had some people say that we could put a close down much more instruction on him. I don't think that's even a thing in FM19, so I'm not sure where that's come from. You can't put that instruction on individual players anymore, I don't believe. But that's not the point. I played Charlie Dyer in this game as an anchor man on defend. Now, I know that a lot of that doesn't change a great deal, but I just feel like it might have had a better impression on him just staying a little deeper because of some of his other responsibilities from that role. Now, obviously, he's still going to ignore certain instructions, but I do feel like it helped. As at home to Watford, I mean, they missed a penalty in the 9th minute, but then we got one up the other end as Liam Miller scored. Unfortunately, games really close together, didn't help, and Pedro picked up a slight knock. And Charlie Dyer had a decent day, created a chance, had a key pass, got a 7.1, was fairly solid. We, however... we had, I think, 4 clear-cut chances and 2 half chances. Let me just quickly check the match stats on this one. Yeah, mental how we didn't actually score any of those, and it was only the penalty. Well, that technically is a clear-cut chance. But again, the chances were falling to people, and they just weren't putting them in the net, and that still does bug me, how we're not taking our opportunities when they arise. But we got the win anyway, and we're able to... I mean, Watford were dreadful. They are bottom of the league, to be fair, so only to win 1-0 was a bit disappointing. And it was a similar story away at Leeds at Ellen Road. Again, I put Charlie Dyer in there, and he didn't play badly again either, a 6.9, whereas before these have been 6.5, 6.4s. Now, it is Leeds and Watford, so read into that what you will. They actually took the lead, though, through Mikel Garrido, a long ball lumped down the field. Now, it didn't break the offside trap because he had the ball in front of our back line, but they just sort of got out of the way for some reason. Bizarre when that happens, and he slotted it in the bottom corner. Very annoying. Pedro then gave us a virtually instant equaliser, which was nice, and then Joseph Bizer. Now, I need to quickly show you this goal because this is ridiculous. Now, there's no need for us to see this goal in 3D, but watch this from Duggan. Bison dispossesses him by sliding in, then flips through 80th minute and gets himself the winner for us there. We didn't play that well, but still created a decent number of chances. Akwebu was good and we got the win. Another win. That's 6 wins or 7 wins in 8, which is very good. And despite winning 7 of our last 8 league games, we're still only 12th in the league. But we are now on the coattails of everybody up to 7th now. If we can go on a good run like we're continuing to be on, then I think there's a real chance that we could still get into that battle for 7th. But imagine how far we could be up if we'd just done this at the early part of the season. We're well clear of the relegation zone now. I think it's 21 points above the drop zone because, again, the teams at the bottom are not getting points. 12 games to go, and again, Stoke are down there with 16 points. Like, that's... They could actually break the record from last year at this rate. It's mental. Antonio Conte managing Tottenham now, because I've heard people say, you know, you're adapting too much to the big teams, which is ironic because when I didn't do that, people would complain that I wasn't adapting enough. So it's kind of one of those things where you can't win. However, I do think that it worked last year because, let's face it, with that team, with a 2DM system, we beat Spurs, we beat Man City, and we beat Liverpool doing that. So it clearly worked. But I think this year, with a better quality of player, there's more to gain from this. So I think today, particularly against Spurs, we can get away with playing that because they play this style of tactic. And it worked really well for us in the second half against them last season. I do think we're going to struggle, but I feel like it's worth giving it a go, you know? Melo's got a slight knock, so he won't play today. Going to go for Kubat today for that role. I'm going to stick with Dyer. I said Andy Dyer there, because I feel like he's played well in these 2 times when he's played in this role, so I'm going to give him a chance today. I don't really know what the difference... I mean, like, obviously, dribble less than whole position he's not going to do, but I do feel like whatever else seems to be implied in this role, it seems to have worked, but it might just be because it was low-quality team. So we'll take the risk today and we'll reassess. I'm also tempted to bring back in Bruno Bridges, because he just seems to perform better, particularly against the bigger sides as well, and I just love the guy. So that's going to be the lineup. On the bench, Okoro, Makengo, Davidson, Miller, Dimitrov, Zemaria, and Borlina, who I think did play one game for us up top this month. I can't remember which one, though. Okay, then. Let's go for it, I guess. I guess we're just going to try and get creative. I mean, should we go to No, we should go to cautious, I feel like, against Spurs, but we can always adjust that throughout the game. Abasola does brilliantly, finds Pedro. Right, so Pedro, yeah, he is on not any kind of shooting instructions as such. Baiza, ooh, nice work. Like, he's just sitting a tiny bit deeper, which allows him to drop the ball off to him a bit more. Akwebu into the channel for Bednar. Lovely chance. And Baiza! Oh, what an opportunity for Josef Baiza. We should be in front. Yeah, see, our possession stat has fallen dramatically, which is why I think being on cautious is probably a better approach here. Abasolo. Oh, it's all the way through. Oh, Baiza's in! Oh, come on. You can't miss those. I'm actually fairly confident and fairly impressed with our first half performance here, to be honest. Pedro. Baiza needs to be making a run, but Abasolo will. Here we go. Dribbling through. Can he slip it through for someone? He didn't go alone. Surely? Oh, yes! And Abasolo. Stockport 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. This would send us 11th, and I genuinely think we deserve the lead so far. Lovely work from Pedro, cutting all the way across. Abasolo, this is what he does that Okoro and that don't. Generally speaking, those runs into the middle, and it might be because he's on support. It's 1-0 to Stockport right on the stroke of half-time. Come on, Ander. Honestly, it should be 2-0 though. Baiza should have put us in front. That should be the second goal. Right, now, how do we hang on here? Spurs have loads of the ball, and they're clearly going out to this right-hand side. Look at the 20, so it means the 2 is overlapping, perhaps. Pedro driving through, drops it all the way back for Talha. I feel like there's something on the end of this. We've still not actually seen the break of this highlight yet. Talha. Oh, overlapping from Bruno Bridges. Can he get a ball in? He does. Pedro's header, and it's well saved by Letao. Nice work from Bruno. Abasolo cutting inside. Baiza, can he go around his man? He can get a short way, maybe? Great work again from Josef Baiza. Individuality really coming into play. Going to get Andy Davidson on for a bit. I'm still unsure of what substitutes to make at the moment. We'll just keep it as it is. I'd still accept a draw if we had to. We're just sort of heading away everything Spurs have got at the moment, which is quite tasty. Davidson. I just want to hang on, really. Abasolo, oh, that's who you want. Can he whip a ball in? He can! Pedro's header, and it's in the back of the net. We've won. Stockport 2, Spurs 0. Pedro with his 13th of the season. This was more of a Liam Miller-esque type of goal. Davidson does really well to slip this ball in, but this is nice work from Abasolo. Just gets that ball across. Pedro at the back post. I mean, he shouldn't be scoring a header from that distance, in all honesty, but he's got it anyway. It's 2-0 to Stockport. Yes! That's surely going to do it. We've won 2-0 against Spurs. This is really, really top-notch. That is fantastic. We didn't give Spurs a single chance in the entire game. Abasola and Pedro traded goals and assists, just like Okoro and Miller have done in years past. That's sort of the perfect Stockport performance that we've been missing for quite some time. Defensively, again, Bruno Bridges, absolutely outstanding for the full 90 minutes. Another clean sheet for him. Unreal. Wonderful win. And that's now 8 wins in 9 matches. And now we're back. I am absolutely ecstatic with that. Truly fantastic. That moves us up to 11th in the league. Only 3 points now off of 7th. We're coming for you, European football. Let's have this. I still don't know if we're going to quite get there, but at least to be in the conversation, that is the main thing right now. Right, next episode. Well, you know what's coming next episode. We've got Fulham away and then Manchester City at the Etihad. We played proactive today and we went out there and took the win and another clean sheet too. So Southampton in the FA Cup 5th round off camera as well. And Wolves at home. That's another winnable match, you know. We could get 9 wins in 10 if we're not careful. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, I really hope you have, frankly. We're in good form again and looking up rather than down. Then drop a like on the video to let me know you're still enjoying the series. And of course, it's for the YouTube algorithm, not for my ego. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next episode for Fulham and Manchester City. A double header of goodies. Probably not. But maybe if we win one of them, that'll be fine. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.